You are now entering the MuseCast.
Don't show this to Michael Morgan. I don't want to make him jealous. Oh, Michael Morgan!
That's
no,
shark
you didn't see my.
there.
I built this myself. I don't want you too jealous of my work. That's back in the day when I used to do that kind of stuff.
Oh no, I had to cue it up with the shark helicopter.
That's Kilkuso Shark Helicopter. That was the name of our first EP back in the day. Ladies and gentlemen, episode 95 of the MuseCast, we have on Mr. Jeff Withers, or Jefferson Withers. I apologize. My big apologies.
You're good, man.
Mr. What'd you call him? Don't you call him that?
Don't you call him.
Well, no Jefferson. Ladies and gentlemen, Jeff is a musician, among many other things, but the most recent thing that he's been on is Mobius Cassette, which is the song that Dick and his son Kyron primarily wrote the foundation for, and then got all these other musicians to hop on board and throw little ideas on top of it. And I threw a little guitar on there, and Jeff sang on it. And among other things, I'll let you tell the rest of Mobius Cassette, Dick, but that's why we have Jeff on.
Well, Jeff sang his ass off on
Killed
there.
it.
Just what he did.
Dude, your vocals are awesome on there, man.
Thank you, man.
Really good. Really
Appreciate
good.
it.
Absolutely.
It folds and it winds, this path I take, replayed through time, each joy, each pain, every moment is mine, no regret, no shame, so I kiss my fate, and I erase my name.
Yeah, so if anybody hasn't heard Mobius Cassette, I urge you to go to your streaming platform, whether that's Spotify or Amazon or whatever, and take a listen. It's Mobius is 7 minutes 9 seconds. Wasn't intended to be that long really, but we didn't have a plan going in other than we had Kyle Ollygood on the podcast, and Kyle chatted me and Ash up, and then he reached out, and I said, let's book a date and just do a song and just not think about it too much. And that was the inception. So we booked the studio date before we had the song, and then the
like
opening,
a real band.
Yeah. That's just like a real band. And so then I said, you know what? Well, let me back up. It started with my mother's Martin guitar. That was kind of the original idea was, okay, my mom has this 1973 Martin 000. It's an auditorium body type that had been broken for about a decade. It got stepped on by mistake and the headstock was cracked. And during the same time earlier this year, after Kyle was on the podcast, I had kind of made up my mind I was going to get it fixed, and I took it to Gary Hudson in Tallahassee at Folkstone Guitars, and Gary did an amazing job fixing. He fixed the headstock. He bonded everything back together. He put a new pick guard, all like 70s era Martin, like correct stuff on it. And then that guitar, I made a big deal about that guitar coming back, and that was kind of bringing it back to life, and the initial inspiration for what the song ended up being, like a generational transition of music, from my mother to me, and then obviously from me to my son, which just grew into something incredibly cool and sentimental. And ironically, the Martin didn't make it on the recording. it was in the room, and I had every intention of using it, but the piece that I had written required a cutaway, and my Yamaha has a cutaway. So I tracked it with the Yamaha, but the Martin was in the room, which Jeff actually wasn't there when we tracked the music. Remember, Ash? Jeff,
yeah. I remember.
Jeff, and I'll shut up in a minute, but just to cue up to where Jeff came in, I reached out to Jeff about doing the vocals, like sight unseen of the song, and he agreed. And then something happened when we had that one day at Gasoline Alley, and Jeff couldn't make it. And I remember I can't remember what it was, but I got a text, and he apologized and said, "Hey, I'm sorry, I can't make it today. And I was like, crap, I've got this, one studio day. I said, darn, that's a bummer, and I actually reached out to Jason Cupp, who came and hung out with us all day and was just there with good vibes. And, it was a fun day, but we didn't even get to the vocals. And so then once the music was done, then it was kind of back in Jeff's court because he was the original ask.
It's falling in time. I'm retracing the line. It's still hard to decide if there's really two sides. Entangled we've been where endings begin. For better or worse.
Man, it worked out perfect. We got the track done, and Jeff got it in his hands and wrote a couple things, and then I'll let you take it from there, man.
I'm trying to remember what prevented me from being there that day, and I want to say it's because I was just coming off a knee surgery. My knee was injured.
I think that is what it was.
So I was fresh off a knee surgery, and I would have been worthless.
Yeah. Let me take one of these things and sing a song.
Yeah, I was hurting.
Yeah, that would suck. You would not want to go record, especially vocals.
But it was a new experience for me writing to this track, because it was basically like 90% of the instrumentation was complete, like finished product. And it's like, here you go, here's the track. And all I really had was the name of the track, which was the Mobius Cassette.
We did have the name. Yeah, we had the name from day one.
So, it triggered me to do some research on what the hell is a Mobius Cassette. So I went down a rabbit hole, and you could probably explain better what the Mobius Cassette is, but
yeah, well, that it came from that same idea, right? The music transcending generations, and humankind has had music transcending generations throughout history, right? Like tribes have had particular songs, like their marching song, their war song, whatever, but the Mobius section of it just came from me listening to the Star Talk podcast with Neil deGrasse and Lord Nice. And that was the first time I heard the term, the Mobius ribbon. And they talk about a lot of, theoretical astrophysics and a Mobius
strip.
Yeah, Mobius strip. And so the way they described it is you take a rubber band with a flat surface, and say the flat surface is a track. Cut the rubber band, flip the surface 180 degrees, and reattach it. Then the track has no discernible inside or outside, and it's just continuous. There is both an inside and an outside at the same time. And I was like, that's fascinating. Like, just that concept is fascinating. And it's like how time is both finite and endless. Right. And so then the cassette was like a cassette. I was thinking like, okay, it's like a cassette tape, the old cassette tapes had the tape in it. And what if it's endless? It's like this, the music gets written throughout generations. It's the same, but it's different. And it's like, it's the reoccurring theme of a family, right? Like pass from father to son, from mother to son, from mother to daughter, and that was really with the idea of writing a song with my son in the studio. That's like, that's just the meat and potatoes of it, really. And it's just, when we got there and when Jeff came and did vocals, we actually brought more voices. The opening monologue, we wanted it to be like the voices of the generations, like it's almost like the same musical spirit throughout time, like the artist spirit, even though it's not the same actual person, like it's like the same soul. That was kind of like I thought of it anyway. And so when we tracked Jeff's opening monologue that he wrote, like we all put a voice to it. You know, I was there. I put my voices on it.
Wait. Did you came up with that monologue, or
Yeah.
and you did Dick specifically request for you to come up with a monologue, or it was your idea to put a monologue there?
So the whole concept got me thinking about the Mobius cassette. And in the literal sense, people have taken cassettes and taken the tape outside and made a loop and done the same thing and record and play at the same time. And as you record and play, it causes it to play what you recorded backwards. It's a really weird effect that it creates. And so
I didn't know it had actually been done. I thought it was conceptual.
it's a thing. Check it out sometime.
Okay.
It must be some old reel-to-reel style stuff.
Yeah. So it makes for a really cool reverse effect. And it got me thinking about the cyclical nature of time. I don't know, whatever people believe, but it got me thinking about that as a concept, and how there's no beginning, no end, no middle, and everything that's happening to you has already happened, will happen again, and stuff like that. Got pretty far out there with it.
I shall return with this sun, with this earth, with this eagle, with this serpent, down that long and terrible lane.
That's so weird, because I just assumed that somehow you guys had come up with that idea on the spot in the studio. Honestly, I thought maybe at first it was that's the kind of thing that you joke around when you're between takes and you start doing a voice or something. This happened for us with Cody on Kill Clouseau stuff. And then the engineer ended up just using it. But I could see that you decide, actually, that's kind of cool. Let's come up with a whole thing. And I thought maybe you guys just came based on how the first recording experience was that I participated in with Dick and Sailor Dollar, and where we were just kind of free forming and seeing where a few things went.
Yeah.
I thought that same kind of thing. I had no idea that you thought to do that from the get-go. That's cool, man. That's awesome that you came in with that many different ideas to do on the song, because you have 3 pretty distinctly different approaches to the song that deserves 3 different ways, because it changes a lot. But you have the singing, and you've got the talking, and you've got the screaming or the yelling, sing screaming. It wasn't just straight screaming.
Well, I think the monologue was there when you came in, Jeff, but I think the idea to have everyone speak it was off the cuff in the studio.
Yeah, that was not planned.
Okay.
Because I remember I think we made a kind of a call to your wife to get her in there, because Jeff's son is on there and his wife is on there too. Mm-hmm. And so we were like, who's in town? Who can we get as many voices as we can get on here? Just anyone come in there and just do a take and get another voice for another point in time kind of a thing.
So the theme of the troubled wizard through time, the voice speaking. What did you guys call it?
That was Kyle. That was Kyle.
Yeah.
So Kyle didn't really know the concept of what I described when I brought it in with the guitar and the generations of music stuff. He's just feeling us out that first session in the studio of what he feels in the song. And what Kyle said, he's I just picture this old lonely wizard, timeless, stuck in time of all of time, lonely and waiting on top of the mountain for time to end. I think that's what he said. And so the metaphor became the wizard, and we were joking.
After the first take of that opening monologue, I think he mentioned about the wizard through time, because I did maybe want to have my son say the one line. He wanted to say something about this eagle. The line that says "with this eagle," he wanted to say that part.
Yeah.
And then we got the idea for lots of different voices blended together, weaving in and out, and it just worked out really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love the line too. The line is, I shall return with this sun, with this earth, with this eagle, with this serpent.
Yeah.
And it's like it's so cool the way Kyle blended the voices in and out, and each voice says a line, and I can I know who I was there, so I can hear it.
I can't take credit for those concepts though, because like I said, my research journey on this went deep. I started looking at a bunch of old philosophers. Some of the stuff is Nietzsche concepts, and just a bunch of other old philosophers. Mm-hmm. So I went down a rabbit hole and just started taking notes and things that I would see in there that I thought were interesting. I wrote it down and then compiled it all into this opening monologue.
Nice. And the one, it was really cool because Jeff, you text me. I think it was basically the opening monologue, because it was kind of like a lot of ideas, but the way it lined out, it all just worked together. Like you put it all together, and there's a Latin phrase in there. The phrase Amor Fati is in there, and it's spoken, and that's such a cool concept. That Amor Fati is
the love of fate,
to love one's
it's not
fate.
only accepting your fate, but loving the fate and realize that fate's working for you.
Mm-hmm.
So cool.
Isn't it true?
Yes, sir.
It's hard to accept that sometimes. I know it doesn't feel it, but there's so many times. I was just going through something like that this week, just a crazy schedule. And some things took me in a left turn, and I felt like they were massive step backs. And right when I was about to progress forward and get some relief, where you can get closure on putting some things to bed. And then it's like, oh, now I'm 5 steps back. And I don't know, I'm still in the midst of it, so we'll see where it lands. But one of the things I keep at the forefront of my head space is exactly that philosophy, because it usually ends up working out where there was some kind of, again, I don't know what people believe either, but I kind of believe that you can kind of get in a rhythm with the universe if you let it you work with it a little bit. And I feel like I'll probably come out of the other end with a better base for everything that's about to come with the next frontier of stuff, which I'll talk a little bit about later.
You can't change it. It's already happened. No. It's written.
Yeah, it feels like it.
Yeah, I'm a firm believer in that. Typically, if you fight through it long enough, the worst things that happen to you become the best things that happen to you, with enough time, acceptance, and adaptation. So
it's like I'm so in between the experimentation of determinism and you brought up Nietzsche, and I like a lot of Nietzsche stuff. Like whether it's actually like totally predetermined for you, or it's like I kind of feel more like it's almost like a choose your own adventure book, right? You pick, but in a choose your own adventure book, there's multiple options, but there's still all kind of like, to some degree, it's not infinite options. There are infinite options, but once you start going down one of the journeys, it leads to a subset of limited options. And the more that you try and head in the direction of like, whether it's mastering something or getting to the top of the mountain of some effort, those options start to become into more and more and more subcategories, and they get more and more finite. Like the pathways get narrower and narrower as you're like trying to stay on the balance beam of what it is to get all the way to the teeny top sliver of what it takes to be at the peak. And then when you get to the top of that, I feel like all that is just a new platform of which all the options are now available again. And it is a complete choose your own adventure again. And it's like, what are you going to learn? And I could look towards people that are inspirational to me with that. Actually, Maynard James Keenan talks exactly about this. He says he thinks every 7 years roughly is a good cycle of time to invest in not mastering something, but getting to experience something in a deep way and going really far with it. And you look at the different things he's done, they're pretty diverse, whether it's the jiu-jitsu or the winemaking or the bands, and I'm sure there's other stuff that we don't even know about. And it's not like the pinnacle of it just comes to mind because he specifically talked about something similar to that.
But no matter how much heat I make, can't burn it down. Burn it down. Burn it down. Burn it. Bury
No, and he's also hilarious. 7 years also how long it takes for debt forgiveness in the United States too.
Yeah. Well, and they also say like, and I think this is actually proven to be bullshit, but for the longest time it was 7 years. Every 7 years, your body replenishes like a completely different set of cells. I think that actually has been proven to be not accurate.
Oh, but that's a cool philosophy.
Sounded cool though.
I do like that philosophy. Every
good.
so often,
Yeah.
your cells
Let's go with
regenerate.
that.
You're literally an entirely different person. Yeah, because I don't want to be that person I was.
Well, you do ultimately change all the cells. I think that aspect is true. The problem with the 7 years is that different parts of your body change every few years, and this part changes every 2 years, and this part changes 10 years. So, skeletal is different than a muscle tendon, so it's like there's just so many chambers to your body. You do change physically, but it's not 7 years on the
start
dot.
getting hair in weird places,
Yeah. Last week, dude, I got one.
I was at the doctor the other day for a physical, and she was like, she got the little scope. She's like, okay, I'm going to look in your ears now. I said, well, I'm sorry in advance for what you're going to see in there.
That's funny though, because you really are getting hair in new places, and so am I. I'm like, what the fuck? Why is it growing out of this?
Oh man,
It's crazy.
one day I looked in the mirror and I said, I look like a villain in an Asian martial arts film with my eyebrows. I was like, I gotta start doing something about these bad boys.
You either got to lean into them and start, giving them cat eyes. And
Yeah.
No.
But growing old is literally the best because wisdom comes with age and time.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel really good, even though my body isn't as adept as it was when I was in my 20s. My brain and my mentality and outlook of life in general is just so much better at 41 than it was at 21. And I really do believe what they say. If you could go back with the knowledge you have now, the things we could achieve, Yeah.
No, it's definitely a different perspective on everything, and the parenthood thing this time around I've talked about a few times, but it's just a lot more patience,
Both of you guys are like fresh parents again. It's awesome.
Yeah. Right? It's good stuff.
Yeah. Got a 2-year-old, almost 3.
Yeah.
So
I got a 3-year-old. He'll be 4 in May.
That's rad. That's
Yeah.
rad.
Yeah.
keep
All
showing
right.
your toes.
Yeah, constantly. But I mean, every day that's the break point to make me remember what's more important than getting too caught up with other shit. Yeah,
Well,
it's hard.
Well, what I was gonna say earlier, we were talking about the monologue for Mobius, and that section when we did the instrumentation point, the opening section of that song was done live track, and that was Kyle's idea to live track the acoustic section, the first like 3.5 minutes, where the last take that ended up becoming the monologue was captured. And the takes prior, that section in the song didn't exist. It wasn't actually part of the song. We had tracked it 3 or 4 times prior, and that section wasn't there. And then we said, okay, let's, it's almost like, okay, now do a silly one, and we said, okay, well, let's just try something. And in that middle part, I just meandered on a riff that didn't really, I wasn't really super happy with it. I was happy that it sounded kind of cool, but to me, it didn't really, it was kind of all in the same key, and it wasn't very musical. It was kind of like exploring somewhere, but I was a little concerned that it wasn't going to be able to make it to the final cut, because while I thought it was cool, like I said, it just didn't sound musical to me. But then when Jeff came in with the monologue, it was like, okay, yeah, it was always supposed to be that. Like it was never anything but that, right?
Yeah, it's amazing how a palette of music will just give a whole vibe for something exactly like that. Like as a standalone, it doesn't quite. Maybe I mean I don't think I ever got to hear it as a standalone. Like even though we were playing it in the same room together, I never got to hear like the full recording back of that take or anything. But once you put something else to it, it just starts to become a whole other thing. Because the talking without that would be, well, nothing really. I mean, it's the whole tonal scape that's happening behind it in combination with the talking that makes it such a powerful thing.
It was very free form. The guitar was what you went into there. It was just kind of airy, and it also floated all over the place. I'm not sure if you had a click going during that time or what, but
no, it was literally it was Dale
to follow your guitar a lot.
It was Dale Dollar and Lisa Sailor Dollar, and Ash was kind of behind my right shoulder. Okay. Dale was right next to me to the left, and then Lisa was on his left on the other side, and we played, and I said, okay, that last take I said, all right, I'm going to try something in the middle section. So, you know, I'll kind of meander around, and then I'll cue. I actually couldn't really see Ash, so I cued to Lisa, because Lisa came in the what I was thinking was the chorus part, and that's what that riff ended up coming into after the monologue. I contacted Lisa after I meandered, and I just remember like trying. I picture myself on the front porch when I was a kid playing that Martin of my mom's, like when I would just play stuff and like go into like spacey, you know, kind of psychedelic type stuff, just learning music, you know, out there with the guitar, and then going through that little tunnel, and then looking over at Lisa and kind of nodding, and then we all came in together on that next part, and I was like, this is what real musicians do. I felt like a kid that got to sit at the adults table at Thanksgiving. It was like really cool. Ash was right there, like just nailing all the little Firefly stuff you were doing. Like Ash had the electric guitar in the room, and the amp, like the cab, was in a different room. Mike's. It was in a ISO room, Mike, but Ash was in the room with us playing that part, and it was like, that's
so cool. I didn't realize it was all tracked live together like that.
Just that first half was done that way. Cool. Yeah, it's pretty cool. And it's funny though, because it's like anyone that hasn't recorded assumes, I mean, most people assume until you know that's exactly how you would do all recordings. You'd go in, the band's going to record together, you guys are going to play together. Yeah. And I remember the first recordings Kill Clouseau did back in the day. We went and recorded an EP with Lee Dias at Earth Sound Recording in Valdosta, and he did a bang up job, but we only gave him 2 days to work with us, and we wanted to record 6 songs. And so the solution to that was we're going to live record it. And, you know, I don't even think we used a click, if I remember correctly. We just played the whole EP and got it recorded. And you know, look, for what he had to work with, he did great. And we were also, you know, green musicians, but we knew that we were going to potentially have to play with a click. But we went in with the idea that we'd probably try to play it all together, because again, we just didn't really know. You know, we didn't know that you'd have to do it all individually, separately. Were
you able to do it live, or did you end up doing it? You did do it live.
The whole Shark Helicopter EP. Actually, it's so funny we're talking about this, because I had started the show with the Shark Helicopter. Yeah, the first time we ever went and professionally recorded was at Lee Dias' studio, and we did it all live, all 6 songs on that EP, of which I need to get on Spotify. That was like year 2 of us being together, I think. And we recorded 6 songs in 2 days, all live, like 3 songs a day, just get the best take.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I still think that it's worth doing.
It is worth doing
to this day. Yeah.
It blew us away. You got to hear, I can't stress enough to a band, you need to hear you guys recorded well. Even if it's not like perfect, you just got to it's such a completely different perspective of what you guys are bringing to the table and what you guys have, because you need that fuel to know what you're pursuing. and you need it to be able to show other people to come out to shows and all that. But when we listen to those recordings back, and I'm sure you guys have gone through the same thing, the first time you ever heard a quality recording of your music by somebody that knew what they were doing, it's like, holy shit, like, I really am a musician. I mean, I'm serious, dude.
Well,
I was like, holy shit.
Let's not get carried away here, bud.
Yeah.
I want to be a musician when I grow up.
They can do a lot. They can make people sound real good in some of them studios.
Yeah.
The first time it wasn't me. I think it was like some friends. The first time I had heard like a really good recording. One of those instances was back when, David Rowe and I, singer for False Gravity, Cue the Muse, episode 2, Afraid, vocalist 2. David and I moved to North Carolina together when we were teenagers. He was in his 20s. I was still a teenager. We lived up there for 3 or 4 years together in a band. Didn't really go anywhere. Had some good times. He moved back to Florida. I moved back to Florida, but I moved to Central Florida and lived in Pinellas County for about a year and a day. And I didn't have I wasn't with any friend circle down there. I just worked and it was really miserable. But it was before Facebook and cell phone. Even I didn't even have a cell phone back then. So like, I was like, fuck, I miss my buddies. Like, I got to get back to Tallahassee. And I came back and visited, and David and Kurt Rogers were living together on the south side of Tallahassee in a little crappy house on Moonlight Trail right there. And they had a band called 40 Faces, and they had recorded a song also called 40 Faces. And they were both singing together. And I was like, my 2 best friends are like singing on this song, and it's awesome. And it sounds so good. I was like, the first time like I'd heard a friend with a really good recording, right? And I was like, man, I got to get back home. I was like, oh, I got to play. Like, that's why I'm so miserable. Like, it was like a miserable year in a day without no friends and no music, right? But I heard that song. I was like, oh man. So then I chased that forever, chasing that, like wanting to do that, wanting to get something recorded. And it was so hard back then because it was so expensive. Like people didn't have home studios back then. If you had you had like a little 8-track thing that you could mess around with and not really do right. It was kind of right when, Line 6 had the pod out, and that was kind of like the early days of modeling guitars and like home tracking. It made it kind of easy, but it was still
sounded like dog shit for recording unless you knew what you were doing.
It totally did. There's a Company Cane recording, one of the early Company Cane recordings that I did with Jason Cupp when I was in that band, and we recorded with Eric Durrance. And it was so it was so dumb. I'm not saying anything bad about Eric because it actually sounded pretty good. But I remember using 2 amps that were night and day. One was a pod, straight into a pod, and then the other one was this little boutique homemade pig face tube amp that his buddy brought in. And I was like, my naive mind back then thought the boutique tube amp sounded lame and that the pod sounded good.
Dude, I brought the pod with me. I had the kidney-shaped pod too, and I took it to Lee Dias' studio for those recordings. And I told him flat out, because I already knew, I was like, dude, whatever you want to do to the guitar, just do it. Plug me into whatever you want. I just want you to give me the best sound you can give me. I didn't even try. I brought this. We don't have to use it. And I thought it was good, but I knew from other people telling me that I needed to get a real amp and not do digital that it wasn't good. But I still thought it sounded good. But I was that flexible. It's like, dude, just give me what you... And he did not use the pod. We used the pod for like one delay. Like there was a cool delay effect on there, The
clean tones that came out.
Cleans were pretty good.
Pretty good, yeah.
Digital was always the struggle. I mean, digital struggle was always the distortions. And in cameras, the struggle for digital is highlights. That's the difference between
what you were
film.
Saying about encouraging young musicians to get a good recording of yourself because it will unlock something inside you and like light the fire to do more.
Yeah,
it absolutely will. I mean, you got to think like that's the key to do anything else with your music if you're planning to be taken seriously by people that don't know you and haven't gotten to see you. Because it's hard to get people out to a show. So whether that's getting a gig or that's trying to get into a band or letting somebody try out for your band that's never heard you, you know, like, I mean, and now like to show the world, I mean, what are you going to do? Like, not everyone's going to come to your show unless they've heard something. So got to have a recording, you know, got to have a good recording.
Yeah. And nowadays it's easier than ever. I mean, now there's apps on your phone that you can do to get it.
Dude.
You know,
well, and you know what people are doing now? I'm not saying to do this, and I haven't tried it personally, but I'm just saying it's something that's happening, is that people will record all their parts and they'll put it into an AI software and have it mix it.
Yeah, I've had a couple of friends send me that.
Really? What did it sound like?
That it sounded like a song. I mean,
did it sound pretty good?
Yeah. It's like, it's like they sent like, and they would like, they kind of punked me when they did it. Like they sent it to me like, hey, check this out. I'm like, oh yeah, that's cool. Yeah. Like listen to it. Then they tell me it's AI. It's like, oh, you fucker.
But is it that they recorded it and they gave it the tracks and just had it mix those tracks together, or they prompted a song from
one buddy of mine did send me that they recorded a song and then plugged it into AI. I have another buddy who hilariously sent me a song. It's C Mason from 27 South. And, C Mason sent me this. He said he plugged the lyrics in. It's like this country song. We got to get him on the podcast because I need to find that message where what he sent to me is so funny. It's like obnoxious, raunchy, dumb stuff. You know, you can plug in just some really, and it comes out sounded like a legit, like you'd hear it on whatever the B103 country station.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy.
But yeah,
go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I was just gonna trash AI again. That's all.
Well, since we're talking about AI, I do have one other thing to throw in there that's blowing my mind recently. So, we've been using ChatGPT for the past year and a half or so, right? And
I've had ChatGPT for 2 years now.
2 years. Okay, there you go. I had it before you. I got you. At first, you were very like,
and I think our guest just messaged me today.
I drank the Kool-Aid this morning.
Oh, really? For the first time?
he got the subscription. I've had that subscription.
Dude,
ChatGPT 2 years.
Okay, so what did
using it as a tool, not as a canvas.
Yeah, dude, it's an amazing tool. It's just a quick way to figure out a lot of things, get some general planning in. You can use it. For me, part of the tool set is making videos for people, not creative wise to come up with ideas, but just to figure out how do I need to catalog this stuff for the algorithms. You know, help me out understanding what's the right description for SEO optimization, for search engine optimization. What's the, what are hashtags that are relevant for this? Because look, I don't have that artistically. I don't give a shit about figuring out spending 2 hours to figure out which hashtag. So I can just quickly find those things out. And I do that for my clients and I do that for my own videos as I'm putting them out, that kind of thing. So one of the big changes that just happened is I have 2 AI memberships right now, and we'll see after a month, I might drop ChatGPT and just switch fully over to Google Gemini. So here's the thing to know about Gemini. One, the newest version came out and it's got the highest benchmarks, blah, 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 which is interesting. And every time a new one comes out with a new their new subset, it's probably going to be the best one. But Google did leapfrog a few things, so chat's not able to catch up at the moment. That's not really the reason that I'm switching. So YouTube is owned by Google, and YouTube, every video that uploads to YouTube now is crawled and searched by Gemini. Not the exact Gemini that you use that you talk to like a ChatGPT, but it's modes of Gemini. But get this is the part that blew me away. It actually literally looks through the entire video, and it makes sure that it's relevant to what the description is, what the title is, and make sure that all the images match up so it can cut through the noise on figuring out, one, if it's generated by AI, two, if it's just clickbait. It recategorizes like ranking order on how much it distributes it, stuff like that. Prior to this, all you had was an algorithm that could discern and look at the title, the tags that you put in it, but now it's watching it.
So Gemini's watching it. It's literally Bender. It's literally Bender reading the encyclopedia. Done.
Like that, yes. Now, here's the thing that fucking blew me away this week, okay? And I'm making a whole video for my channel talking about this, and I read out, I'm not going to do it here, but if you want to check it out, you can. I'll put a link to it in here. It's actually watching your videos and assessing them. It's going to get crazier than you think if you haven't used this and you don't know. On its face, I'm thinking, okay, so it's going to be able to compare general concepts of images that it's looking at in my shots, know if it matches my description and titles and tags and hashtags, all that jazz, to make sure it's like a legit piece of content. But it's doing way more than that. And I'm going to show you my actual conversation that I had with it. Just 2 questions, 2 responses. I've made almost every single video, 28 of the 30 videos, for the channel Trans Am Worldwide on YouTube. And just in that 28 videos, we've garnered somewhere around 22 million plays, 1.2 million watch hours on our documentaries that I've created. I gave it some of my videos for Trans Am Worldwide because I'm doing all these videos for Trans Am Worldwide, and they make the new Chevelle and the Trans Am, and we get, we have millions of plays on this channel, okay? And so I wanted to know more about planning for YouTube specifically, since it's such a YouTube hog, right? It has access to literally everything on YouTube. So I gave it the videos, I gave it the channel, I gave links to all these things. I showed it analytics and this and that and stuff. Dude, when I asked it to give me the top 10 automotive channels on YouTube and categorize them as to what kind of channel they are, so I can understand what I'm not necessarily competing with, but what's working, where do we fit into this? Because we're a weird thing. We make our, they're building cars and selling cars, but these aren't sales pieces. They're like full documentaries that are entertainment. So it's this weird thing, and it's super cinematic, right? And so I gave it 3 videos. Dude, it started describing back. It categorized us as like a boutique, I forget the exact term that it said, but basically it was able to identify that there was a substantial difference in what the other top 10 channels were doing versus our channel, and that we're this unique gem that's acting like we only have 100,000, less than 100,000 subscribers. We're at like 85,000. Yeah. But we're acting like a channel that has 500,000 subscribers for the kind of view counts and watch time that we get because of how, and the engagement that happens with the videos when they come out. But here's the thing that blew me away. It literally started describing exact shots and why my videos were specifically more cinematic and done like an HBO level versus what's being done more like a vlogger style on the others. It started describing the color grading differences and how the gold was popping on the customer's car when I was rack focusing to certain shots, describing how I went from the stitching over to another portion, describing how I paced out the music to the cuts, and that I wasn't just slapping rock music in there, that I was actually putting it to a score, how I was weaving in idle sounds at the right times. Dude, 60 seconds after asking the question, gave it 3 videos to watch, and it's telling me all this.
Insane.
So
dude, it's crazy.
It analyzed all 3 of those videos that quickly?
Yeah.
And how long are each of those videos?
Each of those is 20 plus minute videos. One of them was 12 minutes and 2 of them were 25 minutes.
Okay. So it had the lion's share. It had an hour in 60 seconds. 60 seconds,
give or take 10 seconds.
Okay. So
and all that information and assessment.
Wow. So yeah, it's scanning for every 1 second. It's scanning a full minute of video, high quality video, every piece, every sound, every shot, every detail, and that's the edge that Gemini has over ChatGPT right now.
Is that it has access to YouTube
video
specifically YouTube, the biggest video library on the planet that's updated all the time. No other AI is going to be allowed to have access to YouTube like that, but Google Gemini does. So for me, that might be the one that I need to stick with for my business.
Well, and so your channel, and I know your channel, it really is as it described. It's like an HBO quality documentary in a car video. Because I actually subscribe. There's a couple of YouTube channels that I really like because I'm a car guy too, but I'm more of like not so much the boutique, 15 like Trans Am's like 1,500 horsepower boutique. I'm more like the rat rod, do it at home, sling it together. So my guy on YouTube is a guy named David Freiberger. And David Freiberger was the host for the show Roadkill on Motor Trend television until Motor Trend closed up shop and they canceled the show. But now David Freiberger has the David Freiberger channel on YouTube, and he's been doing it for about a year now. And it started with like, he was freshly fired, and it's kind of vlogger style, like you were talking, like you're saying that it was talking about.
And I'm not trying to criticize that at all. Again, it was just trying to figure out where do I fit into this. And I asked it specifically, can you see a difference between what I'm doing and what they're doing with those other top 10?
Yeah, and there was clearly a difference in David's channel from when he was on Motor Trend versus the first couple of videos he did on his own, and it's slowly becoming. You can see that he is like. He's like GoPros set up in the engine bay for certain things. It's still real, like not it's not low budget, but it's not at the scale that you're doing. It's like, but this is a person who had a national televised show. They were funded to get the Roadkill concept. The show concept is they go to a junkyard, they find an old clunker, like an old 73 El Camino. They get it running in the junkyard. They get parts to it. They get it going, and then they take it across country in the rat rod in the ship box. And I love it. Like they're my heroes.
That's awesome.
But they were at that level. It's like that's where you're beyond that level in quality. And
we don't have the content. Everything that we've accomplished, we've done. Look at how many videos are on that dude's channel, and I bet it's quite a bit. Whereas we've done 28 videos, and we have only 28. So the big thing that's changing right now, and the reason so currently we're testing this out. I don't know if this is we're going to assess this in June and see if I want to keep doing it, and if Trans Am wants me to keep doing it. But currently, I'm officially managing the channel. And we have an arrangement made. So I'm going to be producing more content for the channel that also goes past just being hired by the customers who hire me directly to document their builds. That's been the normal current business model, because customers spend all this money on these awesome cars, and then I document the build if they hire me to do a video for it. But we've only because of that, we only make, around a couple of pieces a year. So we're to have those kind of results with that limited amount. So I'm very, very of videos released. I'm very interested now to see if I can put out a little more content, which we have a game plan, what'll happen. So here I am. This is a different thing altogether. If I'm managing a channel and trying to produce content in general, it puts me in a different mind space. So hence, I've been researching like heck. And at first I was using ChatGPT, and I just, over the last 2 weeks, have been trying out Gemini, and it's really won me over. I went ahead and upgraded to the higher end plan, not fully higher end plan, but the $20 a month plan, which I was already paying $10 a month for Google Drive. So it's only $10 more a month, and I keep all the Google Drive. So I was like, deal.
So much laughter and happiness, an eternity to reminisce, your mind deciding what will exist. But when you are dreaming, thoughts become reality.
and it's working great, man. All right, so ChatGPT is awesome. I'm just pointing out specifically if you're a content creator and you put shit on YouTube, there is a unique advantage that I don't know how any other AI is going to be able to beat when it comes to understanding YouTube. And for me, that's the biggest thing.
But is that becoming like a monopoly at some point then? If it's,
everyone's got their own thing. So like Anthropic is another AI, and they're kind of getting the whole claim on enterprise software. So a lot of businesses that are developing internal AI systems to kind of work all their data and software under the hood of their own business. Anthropic's winning there. ChatGPT's has won on the consumer level, and they had the monopoly. They had 90% of the market share. And in the last 6 months or something, it's dropped by a third. And Google's on the uptake. But then AI, Elon Musk's AI, Grok, that one's unique data set is Twitter. Nobody has Twitter or X. So they have all this informal conversation access, all these people that have talked. I know there's a lot of garbage in there, but there's also a lot of unique interaction. Plus, XAI has Tesla with their robot systems and camera data that they've been mapping out the world with. They've got their robotics. They have a unique subset themselves. And then you have Facebook's, who's the furthest behind, and their AI is just the first behind, but they do have Facebook and Instagram. Yeah, well, hey, I'm just saying each one has its own subset of unique things. So they have different attributes. For me, YouTube is the obvious thing for me. I mean, that's a massive part of my business.
Well, and that's kind of back to the beginning of our conversation on AI you're clearly using Gemini because it's tailored very acutely for what you're trying to use it for. And as someone who doesn't make a living with video, I use my ChatGPT primarily for text, like word editing. And that's my number one use is I use it for a powerful search engine that I have to double check with Google. I use it a lot for code reference and construction. Quickly, if I have a code, like I had a code question today. If I remodel a bathroom, I require by Florida building code to install an exhaust fan in a bathroom remodel, and it spit out exactly the town, municipality, and the likelihood of an inspector passing it with or without the exhaust fan. Because if you do an alteration on the bathroom, you're not required to put the rest of the bathroom up to code. But if you're doing a remodel in the bathroom and you're removing fixtures and moving fixtures within the bathroom and you put everything back together, you're required to bring it up to code, which means you have to put an exhaust fan in the bathroom, even if it's in a 70-year-old house that doesn't have an exhaust fan.
That was all information from chat?
It was all information from chat, but I still called the building department and followed up with the question because you can't.
Was it accurate?
It was. It actually was. The building department, she told me initially, okay, if you're just enlarging the shower and you're not moving any fixtures, no, you don't have to add a fan. But okay, you're pulling the shower out, new plumbing underneath, you're moving the toilet in a new location. Yes, you got to bring the rest of the bathroom up to code. And it was accurate. And so it's a
lot of times it just gives you a much more directed set of questions to ask whoever it is that you need to talk to.
Yeah, and that's the other side of what I use it for, because I'm not historically the most eloquent individual, particularly when I'm texting or typing. So if I have to, and I'm pretty good when it comes to emailing in the construction setting. Like I'm pretty good at doing a decent formal email in the way I word it and the way I type it. But I've also found that ChatGPT really helps it. If I will write an entire email on my work device, I'll text it to my personal device, and then I'll use that to run it through ChatGPT and just ask it to formalize it and spit it back out to me. And
that's another, I'm not saying to do this, but I'm just pointing out that's another thing that Google has with Gemini is that Gmail, Google Drive, everything's in it. You already use Google Chrome. So everything about what you do, so that whole process that you described would already just be done inside of Gmail by Gemini. The suggestions to do what you asked it to do. You can ask it and it'll modify your email right there.
Like in the platform, like in the email platform. That's good to know for my personal email. The work email that I'm using is through a Microsoft.
Oh yeah,
Outlook. Yeah.
Fuck Microsoft.
Well, honestly,
their Microsoft Copilot AI is less than impressive,
right?
In my opinion.
Yeah, dude, you're falling behind. That was a weird one. Anyway, we'll talk about a freaking tangent for 20 minutes on AI. Sorry, Jeff. Welcome to the club.
Hey guys.
Let's geek out.
We digress on AI here at Cue the Muses. You're one
are the machines and AI taking over or not?
Yeah.
I saw a movie about this once.
Yeah. Didn't some
young kid on a dirt bike warn us about this?
Yeah,
dude.
Some kid on a scooter said, "You're not supposed to be here."
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's a weird world out there with all of that. But I only went that deep on that because just literally this week I just went through this, and it was just catching me off guard, the reality of how much it could figure out. I thought, okay, it's probably just able to better figure out if it matches everything, so you're not just doing clickbait. But I didn't know it could decipher, the quality differences of cinematic value and how the edits are structured and all that shit.
You know what else it's good for? Troubleshooting a parasitic battery draw in an old truck.
I might have that happening right now in my van. The battery died again.
Yeah. So get a voltmeter. Get a multimeter, voltmeter. Get ChatGPT and just ask it, or Gemini. I'm sure Gemini.
Yeah, sure. I still got chat, so I'm not like.
So it will tell you how to diagnose parasitic battery draw.
Your positive and your negative terminals and start pulling fuses.
Yeah. See it? Actually, what you want to do is you want to disconnect the negative terminal, put the positive on the negative terminal of the battery, and then put the negative on the negative terminal that's not on the battery. So now you're kind of like making this negative connection. And if there's a draw, it will show, if you have it set to the right setting, it'll show that you have an amperage draw coming through there, through the negative. And then as you start pulling fuses, isolating circuit by circuit.
One fuse at a time.
Yeah. When you'll pull one, and then that amperage draw will fall to 0. And then it's, oh, okay, that was my radio. That means my radio circuit has a bad ground or something that's causing it. Yeah. What I found was that it was my alternator. There's an internal diode in the alternator that stops current from running back to it from the battery. And my diode must be fried, because my alternator feeds my battery just fine. But then when I shut it off, it's also feeding off of it and then killing it. Yeah. That's on my Jeep. That's why I'm not driving my Wrangler every day. But chat really, really helps. It helps if you have a general understanding of the topic too. And I think that's a big part. I think they did a study of like if chat, using AI or whatever to benefit, or whether it benefits your brain and makes you improve, or whether it cripples your brain and keeps you from learning. And the study, and I can't remember where I heard this, but the study said, people who had already had the skill prior to using the AI, use the AI to increase the skill, to learn more, and they're more adept and they become more skilled with it. However, people who never acquired the skill, who then use the AI to learn it, not only do they not become more adept at it, but they never really learn it to start with.
I know what study you're talking about. I personally have a slight issue with the study because I feel, for one thing, I think and in the comments, if you know about the study, correct me, but I'm pretty sure it was only like 30 people. It was like a very small study at one school, and it was like, and when I heard the questions, they sounded a bit directed to me. Like it sounded like a weird subset. there's so many variations as to how you can use AI to come to that conclusion that fast off of a few day study with 30 people and decide that that's how the world will absorb AI. I don't know. I'm a little skeptical. I think we got years to figure out what the actual repercussions of this is.
Maybe.
Decades. Well, yeah, unless we get killed, of course.
Maybe.
Maybe. Wait, there was something else. I wanted to make sure Oh no, I covered it.
I want to talk to Jeff about that shirt he's wearing.
What is that shirt? Side the 9.
Is it backwards? It's backwards for me.
No, we see it right. We see it right.
Okay.
Inside the 9, boys and girls.
Inside the 9.
That's the one. Now the E is backwards. That's the one that Kurt designed with the line over the E, the backwards E.
Yeah.
That was his first graphic design work. Hey, what font is that?
Oh, I don't know.
Is that the same font I used for the Kill Clouseau Shark Helicopter shirt?
Maybe.
Do I have one of those around? Oh, I
I
wonder.
don't know the font.
That would have been weird. That's weird
It's
if we
like-
used the same font.
It's
You
like
say
the
Kurt
old-
designed this?
I think he did. I think I remember he went to the shirt shop and had that done, because we had Kurt and I got our 9 tattoos together. This is the reverse one. It's supposed to look like it's coming out of my skin. It's that logo that's on the back of your shirt, Jeff.
Right.
And then Jay drew it up, and Kurt got his tattoo first. He was going to, and then he was like, "Nah, I don't know. I don't really." Jay drew this, and Kurt said, "No, I kind of want the bold one." And he's got that on his shoulder, and I was like, "Well, fuck it, I'll get that weird backwards one." I was like, "Put it right here on my wrist," and then I think I might have got mine first. I can't remember, but then I remember Kurt was like, "Oh, damn, that looks cool. Oh, now I wish I would have got that one."
I've
that
still
was-
never gotten a tattoo.
Yep. So
No.
that was our first musical venture together.
Yeah.
Jeff and I's first band together. When the night I met Jeff, Kurt asked me if I wanted to come over, and
I
hang
don't think
out.
we need to go into explicit details.
No, we won't go into we won't go into
Whoa.
explicit
On
details.
night 1, really?
I'll
Whoa.
say this. Kurt invited me over to meet his new buddy Jeff, who plays music, and I came over and hung out. And then the next day, I was like, Kurt, I don't really know about your buddy Jeff. It was not
Yeah,
like,
I think I played a very inappropriate song, and it kind of made Richard do a double take. He didn't know if I was for serious or.
yeah. It's like it's the kind of it's the thing.
It's the kind of
You don't have to say it.
song that gets you canceled
Whatever.
nowadays.
Yeah,
Okay.
But it was hilarious. But then Inside the 9 got started without me. It was Kurt Rogers on vocals, Big Dave Rowe on vocals. Jeff was playing bass.
Josh Ivester on
Josh
guitar.
Ivester on guitar, Brian Duncan on the other guitar, and then John Hoganson, drummer for Fighting Giants, was on
Yeah.
the drums. And then Josh left, and I came in after Josh. They had done an EP with Josh, and then I came in fresh off Company Kane. That's when Jason Cupp moved to Louisiana and joined the band Southdown, and was jamming with the Southdown boys and Co-Ruff and them. And I joined Company Kane, I joined Inside the 9, and then got tight with Jeff. And that's when I was like, this guy's awesome. I watched Jeff get in a fight with a guy at the practice space because he's the guy. Now, respectfully, the guy paid half the power bill
Respectfully.
at the practice space. And Jeff and I was out there helping Jeff make a stunt box. We were making the stunt boxes for the stage. I think Kurt was there too.
Yep.
And Jeff was making up this box. And the idea was the box had a light in it, and I think you jumped on the box and it activated a switch and it turned the light on. And Jeff was a very handy individual, and he was making this box, and I was there for like moral support, just hanging out. You know, we were at the band space, and the guy was like the guy on the couch at John's house. I remember like his name was Chris or something. I don't know, but he was just like living at John's place on the couch, and he was kind of an obnoxious asshole. And he came out, and Jeff was really working on that box. And what did he say? He came out and he just starts telling you you're doing it wrong, or you need to do this or that.
Yeah, I don't know what he was on about. Something about you're wiring that for 230. You're not hooking that shit up over here.
You need it not. And I'll never forget. Jeff
You ain't
looked
hooking
up
that
at
shit up here. I pay half the power bill over here.
yeah. Jeff is like sweating on this box. And the dude, he said that he literally said, I pay half the power bill over here. Jeff looked up, dead serious, just trying to just not do this with this guy. Like, I got this. Jeff was like, hey, buddy, I got this. Okay. And the guy's like, no, and like would not. And it turned into a fist fight eventually. And I was like referee. I was like Big John McCarthy between these two. Like they went down to the ground and it got to a stalemate. And I was like, all right, we're standing up. You know, like, and the guy was like, the guy was a little bigger than Jeff, and Jeff's scrappy. I never forget when they started, they were about 3 or 4 feet apart. And when it went in, boy, Jeff starts banging. But the problem was he wasn't quite close enough to connect with the guy yet. And the guy's like duped up, and Jeff's throwing. And as he's throwing, he starts ranging in. And as he got close enough, it went do. And the guy's like hit him 3 or 4 times in the head, and I'm just fucking dying. Like, yeah. And then they went down the ground, but like I said, the guy quite a bit bigger than Jeff eventually would get on top of Jeff, and then I kind of pin him. And then he'd say, all right, are we done? And then he'd get up, and Jeff said, no. And Jeff hit him again. I was like, but that honestly, that day, that was when I Jeff earned my respect, earned my love.
I don't know how I remember exactly, but I remember the fight starting, and I remember Kurt being out there with all of us at that point.
Yeah,
and then immediately
gone.
when it started, here goes Kurt to the house.
Kurt, really? Gone.
What?
Yeah, he's like, "Fuck, you guys are stupid." He walked.
You guys,
Oh my God! How could you not watch that?
Kurt literally.
How did you not watch this?
Kurt literally said, "I've already separated myself from you, dumb fucks."
Jeez, I guess Yoda over there, but I would have to watch the whole thing to the end.
I think I fell in love with Jeff watching him fight that big old dummy.
Sounds like it.
I had all but forgotten about that.
Oh man, yeah. I'm glad we got to tell that story.
That's great.
It needs to be told.
It's a finale.
Well, and that's one of those reasons why, like, I've got the Inside the Nine tattoo. You know, like that was
that kind of memory.
We were that band. We were that close. We were young and really being tight, and that carried that symbol has carried through multiple bands. You know, it was 86 The Earth after Inside the Nine, with Tim Matthews was playing bass, Jeff was playing guitar with me, and we had a different drummer. And then even into Fighting Giants, we still had the symbol. The 9 is on the shield, on Fighting Giants. That symbol,
a little Easter egg through all of it.
Yeah, that's the key, that glue that kind of holds us together. It's our bond from way back when.
That's beautiful, guys.
Yeah, man.
Well, congratulations on having this new song out. And I'll put I'm going to put a couple of clips of it throughout this episode, so that way people hear it as we're going along here. But if you haven't heard it in its entirety, for God's sakes, you can find it on Spotify, Amazon, Apple. It's on Apple. Yeah, it's on all of them. It's on YouTube.
Yeah.
It's on YouTube Music. I mean, it's everywhere. except for a full upload directly to Facebook, right?
Yeah, it doesn't have a full upload. You made a
Yeah.
couple of snippets that we've
Yeah.
shared. So you've got like one that's the acoustic
Couple
section and
reels.
one that's the other one, couple reels. Yeah. Super fun.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad we had you on, Jeff.
Certainly unlike anything I've been involved with. It's really cool. So I appreciate you guys making me a part of it.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I want you a part of more stuff we do, especially vocally, because I think,
man.
you know, I think that's one area that you really shine in a unique and really, really cool way.
Mm-hmm.
Appreciate that, fellas.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
Absolutely, man. Well, we'll be spreading the word, showing the song, and I guess I wish there was like it. You uploaded it to YouTube. Literally, I'm sorry. It's on Spotify. You just find it as Mobius Cassette, right?
Yeah. That's the band name and the song name. It's like a standalone thing, you know. I don't know if we'll ever do another like release as that. You know, again, if
Should make it an annual thing.
Yeah, I think it's, you know, as long as Kyron's writing music and it's all, you know, the core people involved, you know, I'd like to do one. It was almost a Cue the Muses thing, right? It was kind of like, because you were in there. That's why it's Mobius Cassette featuring Sailor Dollar and Cue the Muses.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think the Mobius Cassette is going to be kind of set aside for stuff that Kyron is involved.
That's what I mean. I really, when I think of it,
Yeah.
I think it's a father-son tune that got a lot of collaborative, like, splendor put on top of it, you know, which is, I think that's a unique, really cool thing. I wish Tristan was into my son, 19 years old. I wish he was into music as far as playing it. It's not too late, but I can't get him to.
Never too late. And
I know.
I got a funny feeling that toddler you got is going to be into some sort of music, and you definitely need to put him in wrestling.
Dude, jiu-jitsu, and I think he's going to be a drummer.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think
The world needs more drummers, more jiu-jitsu drummers for sure.
Yeah, jiu-jitsu drummer, dude.
Hey, you've got a good place for him to practice.
Yeah, totally.
Mm-hmm.
No, he's and we wrestle every day, so
Hey,
we're good there.
Okay. And you got a space. Do you have a drum set up there?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I want to get an electronic drum kit.
I got an electronic drum kit that I actually have listed on Facebook Marketplace for sale. A couple people have hit me up about it. It's yours. I'm going to pull it off. I'll bring it up.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I got an Alesis Nitro Pro. I bought it before I got the acoustic kit.
Yeah.
And I got the Yamaha kick pad, so the double bass registers properly.
Yeah.
It's a better kick
I've
pad.
heard you play it.
Dude, it's been folded up for a year and a half. We've got a real drum set now. We don't need it. It's yours.
Dude, thank you. I will totally set it up in here. That's awesome. That's exciting.
I missed your birthday. Didn't get you nothing for your birthday.
Wow. Well, you leapfrogged everybody. Well done.
It's Felix's present, not yours. So
I'll have it set up so Felix can drum on it. Thank you so much. Wow. I'm glad we kept this episode going.
Amber said I gotta get it out of the kitchen.
I had a birthday.
I got your present.
The drum kit's mine, fucker. Get off.
Your present coming this weekend, buddy.
Yeah, my son's gonna play guitar. What you got?
I got too many.
You got a lot of guitars now.
Too many of those too. I got one.
My son told me that he likes Earthquaker Devices effects pedal.
I got one laying around here somewhere.
Man, I enjoyed spending some time with you guys. I appreciate it.
Yeah, dude, it was great, man. I'll see you around. We'll see each other. We're in town, Tallahassee. Ladies and gentlemen, MuseCast 95. Subscribe, follow along, check us out other places.
Cue them Muses, folks. Your one-stop station for inspiration.
Nolan's running, everywhere. Nolan's running, everywhere.